To your desktop, I was gonna say, but
Do you think I should record it to the desktop?
I don't know. How much memory do you have on your desktop?
Not a lot.
Yeah, so I would go to the cloud.
Okay. Awesome. Yay. All right. Well, Brooke, thank you again for volunteering to do this in
Is
your
that a
very,
microphone?
yes,
Girl.
yes, anyone can have these. And lots of people get them and never use them. So you can
Yeah.
also get them at a discount.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm not gonna get one, but
That's fair. So Brooke, I just wanted to say thank you
January,
so much.
right? So 6 months probably, right? Didn't we January or February? Maybe it was February.
January 20th.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So February, March, April, May, June. So not quite 5 months.
Okay.
Um, all right. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just ask you the standard questions that I typically ask people, and then we'll just talk more.
Okay.
Um, all right, my dear. And so uh what before you started this program, what was life like before?
Terrible. Terrible. I was not healthy. I was unhappy. Unhappy in my body, in pain. We're gonna get a guest appearance from the dog in a second. Sorry.
No worries.
Um, in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain. That was the number one thing. Like I would wake up sore. I'd be sore all day. I would, I was in this body that it had just spiraled, kind of had spiraled. I had my fourth kid in 2017. I had lost all the weight because I was nursing. I nursed him for 2 years, and the weight falls off when you're nursing. And so I had, so by 2019 I got, and then COVID hit, and I gained the COVID weight, and and then some, basically. And then I got, in the last year I had taken this job that was just crushing my soul and sucking up every minute of free time. And I had gotten to a weight that like I wasn't even weighing myself anymore. I just given up and was eating terrible, was, whatever, not exercising because everything hurt. Or I'd go through spats of exercising. And I think I told you this. Like I was like, I think I have MS. Like I diagnosed myself with an autoimmune because I was like, nobody should be in this much pain all the time. Um, and so that's where I was until, we started.
So, Brooke, how was the process of getting into fat burning, getting into a fat burning mode for you and this program, really?
Amazing, amazing. Like it's funny. I was just telling my mom last night. She was like, she's like, oh, you look great, blah, blah, blah. She told me not to throw away my fat underwear because that's what moms do, right? She was like, I was like, I had to go buy new underwear. Like, that's such a weird thing to have to buy. And she was like, well, just keep your fat underwear, just in case. And she was like, not that I don't think you're going to do it. I'm like, no, but mom, this is so much different, I think, because in the past, I've talked about this with you. I'm very good with rules. And, you know, so like I've lost a ton of weight on Atkins and carb free, but when you try to give yourself wiggle room, I don't think anybody can be carb free for their life, or people can, I cannot. And so I would try to do that. And then literally the second I had a bagel, like the weight would come back on. I swear to God. I'm sure it didn't work that way, but it would feel like that. And so um, this was so much easier because I never felt like I was giving anything up. Even
Mhm.
those 2 weeks where I think the hardest part was the coffee, right? I had a lot of headaches. But I had gotten to a point where I was taking in so much caffeine. Like I was having a coffee to start every day, and then I was having at least one like Celsius, like midday, because I was so tired all the time and
Yep.
had no energy, and was like, maybe I'll just over caffeinate myself until until I have a heart attack.
Pop yourself. Yeah.
you know and so
Plenty of energy until I'm dead.
until I'm dead, right?
Oh,
But so other than the getting myself off the caffeine, which was hard, really, really hard,
yeah.
um, the rest of it was really easy.
And then we brought the coffee back.
Yeah. And then we brought the coffee back, and I didn't want to, if you'll recall, because I was like, this was such a difficult process for me. I can't believe I finally got off of it. I never want to go back on it. You encouraged me to do it, and with the 1 cup of coffee a day. And I have to say, what's really great and interesting about it is there'll be days where I don't get to have that coffee till
Mhm.
like 1 or 2,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, I don't need it. Like it doesn't matter. So like I enjoy that cup of coffee, and I do enjoy that pick me up, but it's so clearly, but like I look forward to more like the creaminess of it, like the actual
Mhm.
act of drinking the coffee is what I look
Mhm.
forward to. It's not like, oh, before it used to be like put the pot on because I might not make it downstairs, you know?
Yep.
And now it's not even that part I'm looking forward to. I'm actually just looking forward to the taste and the experience of it.
That's so awesome. I feel like that makes me kind of like tee up just a little talk about carbohydrates. I feel like what you're explaining is the same relationship that I feel like every fat burner gets to slash like this is my job, like to get everyone to this place where we're not beholden, but they're still delicious. It's
Right.
like, cupcakes and ice cream or whatever it is. And so it's like we can still have them,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not something that we have
Craving.
a desperation for. And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like how you're describing coffee makes me think about kind of carbs or higher octane carbs in the same manner.
Yep. Yep.
And I'll go back. We have like two more questions, but I just wanted to ask, like, how was this? You said easy. And so, like, I think what a lot of people think is that weight loss is hard. Like, it's just going to
It is.
involve.
It is. In every other time we're doing it, it is. It's hard and it's impossible. This was easy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, maybe I'll go back to that. What do you think what made this easy? What was easy about this?
Um, the structure, oh my God, sorry. Hi. The the structure of it was easy. Like, there's a dog, so you're gonna have to edit this out, but there's a dog somewhere on social media that only puts his face. It's like a deaf, like special needs dog that the pictures all over social media is the dog just sticking its face in its owner's face, and this is what we're dealing with right here. So I'm sorry. She's
It's okay.
um anyway, the structure of it made it easy. Like, it was such clear guidance, such, having the phases was so easy, the shakes, the meals, like it was all very structured and regimented. Obviously, doing it the way we did it, which was with the daily guidance, made it even better.
Awesome.
You were there every step, literally every step of the way. So that was easier. And then when I think the process, because I got to a point where, I'm just never hungry. Like, I'm never hungry. I'm never feeling like, that's no, there are moments when I'm hungry, but it's so rare. And it's expected. When I'm feeling hungry, I'm like, this makes sense. I'm not just, hungry all the time, right? Like, I felt like I was
Mm.
always hungry just all the time. And so now, not like, everybody I talk to, we talk about these how we got into the long fasts phase, and even how easy that was. And they were like, oh, I could never skip a meal. I was like, oh, that was me. I could never skip a meal. Breakfast, I would skip breakfast because I would have my coffee with cream, but I would never skip lunch or dinner, and would probably need a midnight snack. And now I'm like, I really don't. It's not that way anymore at all.
I think like so the fact that like yes, so Brooke did our extended program. So it was 3 months and we had there's a boost included, which is our like 3 week I call it a mini program, but basically where everyone kind of learns to do these slightly longer fasts, so like 36 to 48 hours. And I think the big thing that like why I'm like the Johnny Appleseed of weight loss, like regarding fat burning, it's like um like the body works in certain ways. And when we tap into how it works, then we can get what we want faster and it things become easier. So I just love that you're describing that it's like I'm not hungry or like I am at times, but I'm not all the time. And so like um what was I going to say? And with that, it's like in a very straightforward way that makes weight loss really simple if you don't need to eat all the time. And also if you're not like craving the stuff that's like the worst for our waistline.
And also when you are craving that, because there are so many emotions around food, and our lives revolve around food in many respects. We've talked about this a lot. Like this past week was graduations up the wazoo, and so there was like lunches, big celebratory
Yep.
lunches. And even when you have those, and those emotional moments where you're just like, I am going to house this chicken parm because I need a food hug, and or I'm going to go out and with my kids and we're going to get ice cream because we're celebrating something.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a easy plan to counter that, you know um yeah, I think, and we, like, for example, we had talked Memorial Day. We talked about summer and, like,
Yep.
summer foods and all this. And I'm coming off of Memorial Day, all these graduations, just a business trip a couple weeks ago. So
Yep.
probably way more loosey goosey in the past 4 weeks than I had been throughout any of it. Um, and I weighed myself on Friday morning before my big dinner with my big lunch with my daughter, and I was at 132.
Oh, Brooke.
So that is like, that was down from, I think, a couple pounds down from when we had
Yep.
last talked.
Yep.
And it was like, look at this. Like, I was much more flexible with myself during these times. Had, a little bit more wine, a little bit more carbs,
Awesome.
certainly more ice cream, but I adjusted on those other days. Now, granted, I'm down,
Yep.
and so that tells me, you know, I'm still headed in the right direction, even after 4 weeks of being a little bit more, flexible.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And that's really like, that's the goal is like to set a body up to make it easier to lose weight and harder to gain it, which is just nuts.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like the most one of the more freeing things. Like I think that one thing I love about what we do is that it's almost like it takes the most concentration and education and consistency really at the beginning to kind of like set your body up to get clear on what you're doing, as well as having carb feasts. It's like indulgence absolutely happens, but it's like the beginning matters most. And that's when we tend to have the most motivation. We feel the most kind of committed. And so it's like, I just love that it's like you literally invest in yourself, like in every way. And then it's like, and then you just keep kind of reaping the rewards. So anyway, I love hearing that. And I feel like that's like, to me, that's just yay, like I'm such a superstar. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm so smart. It's like, look at you, like with this body that's not as a result of like depriving yourself or doing something that feels like self-harm, whether that's like I can never have pleasure or I go without and I'm hungry.
And also the approach to exercise too, as it's funny because the two of us being high school athletes, I think so much of your mentality about exercise gets programmed in those early years. And swimmers specifically, like, I'm not working out unless I'm logging like miles and miles in the pool and also hitting the gym and also doing and so I've always taken that. Whereas, so my strategy for weight loss in the past has always been like, well, okay, now I have to do something extreme. So I'll train for an Ironman. And, I lost a ton of weight and did a half Ironman, but like, I don't have the time for that anymore with my life. And like, so even other people like, oh, well, you should get into HIT classes. which, okay, that sounds fine. And I've tried to do that. Inevitably, I end up injuring something like within
Mm.
3 weeks. And then that new thing. And so anyway, your approach with fitness was also so manageable. You were like, just walk, like walk. And so very early on, I would walk outside, I would walk the dogs, I would do that. And then very early on, I got the walking pad for
Yep.
under, and I've always had a treadmill, and it'd be like, unless I'm doing intervals on the treadmill and I'm in a full sweat and like dripping, it was not worthwhile. Instead, I got the walking pad, and I would walk like an hour and a half, 3 miles. That was what I would walk 3 miles slowly because I would do it while I was working because that was the only way to squeeze it in.
Yep.
And that's so, man, like everybody can find time, most people can find time to walk. And the even the walking pad was not an exorbitant amount. Like it was a couple $100 off
Yep.
Amazon. I threw it in my office, and so it wasn't this undertaking. Like everything was just so reasonable. It wasn't like,
Love
it
it.
was nothing that, like you said, detrimental to yourself, or like something you couldn't stick with, or like it's a huge commitment to get there. Everything just seems so easy to do. Like it's hard to make an excuse not to, just go for a walk
Yep.
or just
Totally.
hop on a walking pad, like that you can literally
Totally.
multitask a thousand things at the same time.
Totally. I love also that like that's something and some people don't even exercise. That's like another thing that it's not crucial for weight loss, but I feel like walking is so approachable, and especially like for you, busy mom of four working, it's like when the hell do you fit this extra shit in? So it's like
No time. There was literally no time. And that had gone the wayside. And that had always been my strategy for weight loss. Just burn
mm,
more calories.
mhm.
And, you
To
know,
that point, I think a lot of what we do is less. It's like, so I think a lot of people do also think like you have to do more. You have to like do all this food prep. You have to be like, you have to weigh shit. You have to count things. You have to
yeah,
work out more.
right.
Um,
None of that. Like, so I've done all those things, all of those things I've done, and it's never worked. It has never worked. I am in so much less pain. Like I had
mm,
plantar fasciitis was one of the I've had since my last pregnancy, and that is gone, like completely resolved itself on its own
awesome.
with what we were doing, I
Yep.
presume, because um I'm also doing the supplements. And even though I forget to take them, at least once a week, in general, I am, I feel healthier with it. Like I
Love it.
feel more balanced
Love it.
with nutrition.
Mhm.
I would say, I have a boundless energy, which I did
Yay.
not have before. Like it was dragging me out of bed was what we were doing, like, hence all the caffeine.
Yep.
And so I have boundless energy. Um, and uh, yeah, I just,
It's awesome,
a
Brooke.
major mental shift. Like I just feel so much better. Like I want to try, try new things. I was depressed. I was
Mm.
depressed. Um, and and yeah, so I'm not that way anymore. I feel much better.
So awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's really awesome. And then it's funny, like even like the kids, the kids see it, and and they're, you know, you just worry so much about what they're seeing, and like and
Mm-hmm.
what they're hearing, and they're just
Yep.
like, like, Mom, you look so much happier, and they notice that, and so that's cool.
That's excellent. And they have children that are at any given age about changing their diet and
Mhm.
worrying, especially if they have girls, that they're going to
Yes.
be communicating something that's unhealthy about their body.
And we have teenagers, and so we've talked about this. Like I looped them in very early on about what I was doing and why I was doing it. And I was like, listen, this is, I'm going through menopause or perimenopause. My body is changing. What once, worked and was healthy for me is no longer working and healthy for me. The things that I'm doing, you cannot do because you're competitive athletes, for one. You're still growing, for
Yeah.
two. Like we were just very vocal and consistent. Even when I would go on the long fast, they're like, Mom, are you eating today? Like, no, I'm not eating today. But I'm resetting my gut. I'm doing all of these
Mm-hmm.
things that I need to do. And that's I'm doing it not the reason I'm not eating today is not to get skinnier faster. It's to give my body a rest, get the toxins out of my system. Like we really talked about it from a physiological perspective
Nice.
about it.
Great.
Um, and also, I can do this because I'm not exercising as much. I'm walking. I'm
Yeah.
not expected to suddenly have to like perform at a high level. Like you need to keep up your calorie, you have
Yeah.
to do things very differently because you're in a very different state of your life. Um, and so we just talked about it,
Awesome.
really the biology of it all
Nice.
heavily, and it worked out great.
That's
Um,
so fabulous, Brooke.
yeah,
Like, good for you for just being like treating your children like, you know, I don't want to say adults, but like giving them logic and reason versus, you know, pretending or sometimes people feel people don't do this or they change what they do based on being around their children.
right.
And it's like, people need to do whatever they need to do. But I think
Yeah,
that
sure.
in so many respects, it's like if kids understand why you're doing something and the fact that they're different than you, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you
And I
know?
think the way we cycle in these carb feasts and these treats for ourselves also helped because, that's another big lesson you're trying to teach your kids. Like, you don't want them to think ice cream is the devil and it should never be had. Like, food is pleasure. Like, you've always had that mentality since I've known you. Like, pleasure is pleasure. And like, why are we depriving ourselves of it? And I think that's really important and really important for them. Like, ice cream is delicious
Mhm.
if you can eat it and don't have like it doesn't cause you gastric discomfort, or like cake is a fun thing to celebrate with, but everything in moderation,
Yeah.
everything, especially
Mhm.
as having teenagers, like as we're going down this complicated path of not even just food related but alcohol related and pleasure related, like
Yep.
you should find those pleasures and you should have them as long as you're controlling them and they're not controlling you. So it facilitated so many other conversations with them too.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That sounds really healthy. That's awesome, Brooke.
So side
Oh,
effects.
that's amazing. Brooke, my final question is, would you recommend this program?
Oh my God. Did I? Yeah, I didn't. I thought I muted myself. I would recommend this program a gazillion times over. I've already recommended it to 1,000 people. I have friends going to like get tummy tucks and do this. And I'm like, before you do that, let me send you my friend's podcast. Like, look into her, see, give her a call. I've even told my mom that I think that she should call you and have you do this for her.
Love it.
She's a little bit more stubborn than I am, and probably won't happen, but would be lovely. Um, but yes, 1,001 times over, I
Love
would
it.
recommend this. And it's funny, even Gulp, when we first started, the cost of it was a little not, I never looked into anything like this.
Hmm.
And so it was a
Hmm.
little like, oh, this is a huge, not a huge, but a significant
Hmm.
expense. And
Hmm.
I would say it was worth every penny.
Love it.
And the service that you provided was so far and away different from anything else I've ever been accustomed to or experienced or tried. And like, cheaper than any gym membership. And, just it was worth every penny.
Love it.
And yeah.
I'll just say that's so thank you. I'm thrilled to hear that. That's my goal. It's like I'll just say this is an investment. And
Mhm.
I think that it's meant to last for life.
Yeah.
Um so
And I
that's
don't see how it won't. Like, it's so funny. I'm very, come back to me in a year. But like, I was saying this to my mom when she didn't want me to throw a fat on her. I'm like, I really don't see how I ever go back to doing what I was doing because this is so easy. It is
Yeah.
just so easy. I don't see why. Like and even like I said, I will house a chicken parm every once in a while and
Yep.
emotionally eat, but it's so easy to just get back on target. There's not that, well, now I've had that bagel, I guess all is lost, it's not that mentality at all. So
I love that. I've heard that from other fat burners, and that like thrills me like nothing else. That it's like there's never like we're never off the wagon. Like, it's like, so maybe you're just doing some shit that's a little less than desirable. It's like, but tomorrow's another day, or even tonight is a later, you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like, um, and so I love that also in terms of that element of like moderation or balance. It's like all is never lost, and so again, when you have these like different physiological underpinnings, you just can't get rocked that badly. It's like if you left the reservation for a very long time, you'd go back to being a sugar burner, but that would be so deliberate and really lengthy.
yeah, like yes, it seems like it would take so long, and I think the fact that we incorporated going off the reservation early on, like those built-in feasts,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not doing anything worse than you're it's we've been doing this forever, and and our bodies, just when we do feast, it's so funny. I found that when I do have, even if I have a feast on a day I wasn't expecting it, I am so ready the next day to just not to get back on the wet, or either to fast for a day because I've just indulged so fully in whole. I'm so
I love
satisfied.
I love like that we kind of learn to listen to our bodies and then like honor them. And so it's so reasonable to eat a lot of food one day and to not be as hungry the next day. It's like, it's really reasonable to know that you have Thanksgiving dinner at 3 and to not need breakfast or lunch beforehand, to be able to hang in there, and even just like kind of having that mental element. So, one thing that I love that I feel like is just really efficient about what we do is that it's like the body helps us to kind of either not be as negatively impacted by a surplus, or it's like it's just kind of natural to not do something. It's like we don't, and this is something that's like one of my little mini missions is like kind of to take the punitive nature away from weight loss. And so generally it's like swinging to extremes. Either I'm like, gluing my lips shut and, having an ice chip diet, or I'm like saying fuck it and, living at Chick-fil-A. And it's like, well,
There's something
doesn't.
in the middle. Neither of those are good.
And
Yeah.
so I just love that it's like once we're, kind of set up to use our own fat and kind of like logically running on the energy that we're taking in and like housing, then it just makes sense to do certain things. And so it feels more obvious versus like, well, since I ate a lot, now I can't eat tomorrow, or I will, eat 3 leaves of lettuce. And it's like, well, actually, I'm only hungry for 3 leaves of lettuce, or,
Right.
whatever, a salad, or like whatever it might be. And I just think that, like, to me, that is like the way to create a sense of sanity. Um, and anyway, so that's something that I feel very passionately about. And I feel like I just love that that's just what happens, and so it's like people do things that are kind of self-correcting naturally, and I just love that. Do like, and I'm like, oh, we're the same age. Like, is it okay for me to say our age?
Yeah, yeah, yes. I'm so excited for our 50s, Miguel. We're not there
Yay.
yet, but I next decade is our decade. I'm very excited.
I've been saying I haven't been saying I'm almost 50, but I'm like, it's like I'm happy about the fact that I'm close to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
me too. It's so funny.
So 48, mom of 4, professional woman, lawyer, uh, head of household. um,
Dog
and
owner.
and then Brooke, where you started June 20th.
January 20th.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
January 20th. Um, how much did you weigh when you began?
That day or shortly thereafter, I don't even want to say out loud. I was at 162. And that, yeah, I had stopped weighing myself. So that um number shocked me when I went on the scale.
And now you are at 132.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So 30 pounds in like just under 5 months.
Yeah. And I will say I had not been below 140 since before COVID.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, Brooke, I feel like you look like super fit. You look younger
I,
too.
I do look younger. I agree. I agree. That was a fun side effect.
Totally.
Like I literally thought that I had hit that point in my life and I was like, oh, this is where I get the mom bod. Like all our parents, well, not your parent necessarily, your, I don't know, my parents' friends, like all had just kind of the ladies, other than my mother, had just kind of this mom bod. And I was like, oh, I've gotten my mom bod phase. And now I'm like, oh no, I don't have my mom bod phase. I've got my bod phase. I'm still in my
So
body.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think the thing I need to do a post on this, but kind of like, I feel like getting our body in this state, like is such a get out of jail free card, like in
Mhm.
like every way. It's like the one-stop shop, but in ways that seem impossible. And so it's like, well, when you get older, of course, you're going to, gain weight. Of course, you're going to have sagging skin. Of course, you're going to look older and worse. And it's like, it's just, just how it is, just getting older. And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
not
Right. Like
necessarily.
not necessarily. Matt pointed out maybe a year ago. He's like, you have jowls. I was like, yeah, well, I'm almost 50. Like you get jowls when you are almost 50. And I was like, I don't have jowls. Like he was like, they're drooping down, like below your chin.
Mm, like go to hell,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Thanks. But yeah, that element of the body kind of cleaning itself up, eating up tissue with autophagy. It's like it's such a like uh self-generating, uh tending to system when
Yep.
we give it that opportunity and when it's capable of doing that based on like the foundation that we've created. So that's awesome, Brooke.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
great. Honestly, for like taking this time and for like trusting me
Of course.
because it's a really big deal. Financially, time wise, it's like for the woman that does not have much time, it's like to, choose to listen to me, to go through this process, and to do stuff that, sounds nuts in some respects. It's like we're going to fast for 36 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And for you to just, be open and willing and like compliant and honest about the shit that it's like I like margaritas and rosé in the summertime,
Yeah.
it's like, or ice cream, whatever. And so I just feel like you've been like literally like such a treat and just so rewarding to like see your just like steady progress,
Mhm.
and how this has changed your life.
Yeah, it really has. Thank you so much. And I mean, it helped, going into it, you're so smart. And I've always known you to be so
Thank
smart.
you.
So, and I think, and it's funny because I remember you on this path and taking those classes, those science classes 100 years ago when you would stay with the aunts and like the massage, like you've been so zoned in on this process your entire adult life that there wasn't a second of doubt on my part that you knew what you were doing. It was just like, this isn't a
You.
fad. It isn't a,
Mm.
Ponzi scheme. It's not like she has been devoted to this. You've been on this path since you were 20 years old, I feel like. And so there was not I was so sure that you were going to do it. I was less sure of myself. I did not know that I would do it as well as I've done it, which is just a testament to also, your guidance because many have tried, few have succeeded.
I love it. Well, honestly, I feel like you uh I don't know all of your handicaps, but I feel like you in some respects I think your full life kind of worked to your advantage, because
Yeah.
it's like less time to do things and like less options.
Yep.
But no,
This simplified life in so many ways that it was just, yeah, it actively made my life easier.
I love that.
And when can you say that about a diet or a health and fitness plan?
Yep.
Never.
Yep. No, I love that. And that's again like the goal. It's so many, I'm like, I'm so like lazy. Like if it's not easy, it's like, why on
Right.
earth would we do it? And how could we do it forever?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's not how that goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, you have been great. Brooke, thank you again for being willing to do this with me.
You're welcome.
Really
And if you
appreciate it.
listen to this and all you hear is drilling in the back, we will redo this whole thing when you come to my house on the
Okay.
back porch or front porch or whatever.
I love it. I love it. Deal. That
All
sounds
right.
great.